The 10 movies about homosexual and taboo relationship. Life's romance and forbidden love come in all shapes. Homosexuality is no far behind. What is taboo in the world today may find a meaning in itself tomorrow, because that is the rule of life. It keeps on changing. With the best movies of all time, we will try to unfold the beauty of romance and its various forms. Under the layers of incest, adultery, and romance, here is a glimpse of these masterpieces that you dare not to miss watching. Do not believe us? Go yourself on the hunt and find the missing part of the world. Let's start with number 1. When Night is Falling, Lesbian 1995. Two lovers, Camille and Martin, are doubting their relationship as the curtains unfold. Both of them were teachers at a Christian college who were thinking of getting married. But Camille was still giving herself the benefit of doubt because her dog's death more difference to her than Martin could ever do. Camille finds it amusing to be attracted towards Petra, yes, a woman. She seeks chances of meeting her and making love with her. The most abandoned love gives her a rescue from her life. Petra's free spirit helps her understand her own situation with Martin, and she accepts this new change by coupling with Petra. Number 2. Grand École 2004. About gay. Agnes must be a pretty woman. But, do women fulfill what Paul was looking for? Paul's longing for human relations regardless of gender is what makes this movie casting a spell of its own. Paul's refusal to stay with Agnes and spend a good time with his roommates clearly explains what he was willing for. Paul's roommate, Louis Arnaud, makes him fall into a life-changing decision. Paul's attraction towards Louis made Agnes uncomfortable and jealous. To have her ways with him, she tried to trick him with a bet, and only then he realizes that a young Arab worker, Masira, can show him what life is. He wants to cross pedestals and go beyond the elite college life. Number 3. Shameless 2012. About sister and brother. Could it be more incestuous? Brothers and sisters are the meritorious gifts of life, the society would say. But, do we have a term for the love between them? No, other than forbidden love or a taboo relationship. To Dick, an 18-year-old boy runs to his half-sister, Anna, in search of love. But finds that she is struggling with her own relationship with the leader of a local neo-Nazi group. Her acceptance of her brother's adoration for her makes them stand out of the queue, but not in a positive manner. Dick rejects the attention of a gypsy woman but only considers his relationship with his half-sister. It may sound shameless, but incest could not be more beautiful. Bliss 1997. About father and daughter. About father and daughter. How memories haunt the married life of Maria and Joseph. You wonder why? The newly married couple suffers a great length of sexual satisfaction in their marriage. This brings them at a distance wherefrom they refuse to turn back. To understand his wife's sexuality, Joseph takes Maria to a therapist, Alfred. Not nearing the solution make it more difficult for them to achieve orgasm. Maria, in turn, seeks refuge in the bosom of Balthazar, who teaches them to find ecstasy in their sex life. Maria's realization of her memories of her being perpetuated by her father in her childhood turns the events upside down. Her dysfunction turns the tables of sexual incestuous abuse by her own father. This beautifully played theme helps us explore these boundaries of the taboo relationship. Number 5. Luna 1979. About son and mom. What if Joe was never addicted to heroin? The mystery begins with the opera singer, Katerina, and her son, Joe, going to a long singing tour in Italy. Recently widowed Katerina and orphaned Joe discovers the difficulties of life. Katerina's hectic work consumes most of her time, resulting in the loneliness of her son. His loneliness becomes a life-threatening issue because he seeks solace in the drugs, majorly heroin. The 15-year-old son is led by his mother Katerina to save his life. This leads to another possibility of them meeting the real father of Joe, whose existence was hidden till the end. Number 6. Wildside 2004. About transgender. Why am I a transgender? Stephanie wonders. World tell her to be in cages because no one wants her. But the rebel in her chooses otherwise. There are 3 main characters in this movie, including 2 guys who fell for a 32-year-old transsexual sex worker. She was striving hard to keep her dying mother alive, but soon her life turned into an interesting romantic journey in which the 2 men fell for her. During her stay at home, she thinks of the time when life was simple when she was a child and how it took a sharp turn when she met Jamil and Mikhail. Number 7. Kissed 1996. About necrophilia. People call it abnormal, but Sandra Larson refuses to take the lead of being normal. For her, the kiss of corpses is the only way of surviving happily. Sandra's childhood spent into the fascination of dead animals and plants takes a psychological imprint in her adult life. The touch, smell, and look of dead bodies would pick on her minds, and therefore, she would perform rituals for the dead. It seemed all nice and fine when she pursued a job as a general assistant, and later she becomes an embalmer. Her new relationship with Matt is yet confusing for her emotional balance. Matt, a medical student, initially is attracted towards her necrophiliac behavior and finds her even more compelling. But her search of refraining from human touch and finding the love in dead puts a huge question on their relationship. This goes as far as Sandra's imagination roams around Matt's life and death. Number 8. Cruel Intentions 1999. About adultery. Do you approve of adultery? Probably not. Being a bully was fun back in school. Well, here is the mirror of Cruel Intentions. Catherine Myrtle and Sebastian Valmont, the 2 step-siblings, are naughty, vicious, seductive, sexy, and adulterers. Sebastian's love for Catherine and his never-ending quest to have her play the rest of the plot. They both engage in a bet of deflowering headmaster's daughter, Annette. Catherine will win Sebastian's 1959 Jaguar Roadster if Sebastian turns successful to get Annette in bed with him. And Sebastian only demanded to be Catherine, the most difficult lady in his life. Catherine plays a revenge on Cecile, a naive girl who happened to be the flower of Catherine's ex-boyfriend. She plans to ruin Cecile's reputation to avenge her ego with her ex-boyfriend, who left her for Cecile. Number 9. Pretty Woman 1990. About sugar daddy. For the world, she is only a prostitute. Edward Lewis, the man of the town, a charming, handsome man with a buttload of money, is wanted by almost every woman. Edward can have any woman that he wants with the power of his money, but the constant rejection makes him question his successful corporate life. This is the story of a stressed and exhausted businessman looking for something or someone that might turn his boring life into a pleasant journey. He ended up getting a sex worker with whom he had a lot of fun and sexual encounters. As Europe was struggling to keep itself from falling, All Things Fair is set in the year 1943. The film signs the saying perfectly: everything is fair in love and war. The lustful chemistry between a teenage student with his teacher will set your mind on fire as you'll go through the romantic and sexual relationship between the two. They both bear some consequences because of this weird connection, and eventually ended up without having one another for forever. So this was the video. If you like it, do subscribe. Side to the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you don't miss any of my video. Thanks for watching. See you guys in my next video.